Hello, it's Greg Grizzled and Gaijin. We're back. We hope you're having a happy day wherever you're listening to this audio content from. As always, we'd like to thank you for your continued support of Greg Grizzled and Gaijin social media and writing efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is episode 044 of the Greg Grizzled and Gaijin, definitely not a podcast show. A light and fluffy look at social media, Japan, Japanese food, expat life, and life in general. As always, your retweets of this and all the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful content that we actively tweet and retweet out on Craig Hoffman 11 on Twitter is appreciated. Thank you in advance for helping us get the good word out about Greg Grizzled and Gaijin. Welcome back. Another good show today, I hope. Talking about better social media reach and influence, as well as improving your blogging and writing efforts. That's a lot to get to, so we should do it. I'm on a lot of blogging forums. People often want advice on how to improve their blog, which is really code for they want to know how to make more money from writing and blogging and social media. And it's an understandable goal, and probably it's why 90% of people do such things. I think there's always a hope, at least, of becoming popular and famous and making a buck or two, if not a full-time living. It's not reality, of course. 1% of 1% of all writers and bloggers and social media people make a full-time living at that. So if that's your goal as you're listening to this in your dream, it's probably best that you get another goal. The first part, somebody wrote and they wanted me to look at their blog and social media, and I'm always happy to do that. And they said, well, help, nobody reads my blog, nobody interacts with me on social media, and I've been blogging, quote, off and on for the last year. And I didn't click their blog and I didn't look at their social media. I just wrote a response that summed up, you're lazy. And they wrote back, well, no, I'm not lazy. I work a lot and there's a lot going on in my life and you don't know. And I wrote back, I work a lot. I'm a busy guy. I have a lot going on. And I have 600 posts, 15,500 plus followers on Twitter, and 42,000 plus tweets. So there's that. And they didn't respond. I sent them links that they could check it out. You know, people can make stuff up. I'm not a liar by trade. I'm a truthful person to a fault. But that microcosm conversation illustrates a larger problem. That people think they're making effort on social media, blogging and writing, but they're not. And I was reminded of this as a really competitive person. A well-known YouTuber, Jadan, he puts up these things, top 3 followers every week. Usually it comes out, I think, on like Saturday. And I'm always like second. And I don't care. I mean, people lose. Size matters a lot less than you think it does. It's influence that reigns supreme, especially on Twitter. But I always joke, I'm happy to support Jadan, but I really, really, really hate being number 2. And it's true. And I think there's a competitive element that people miss on social media, writing and blogging. I have a great following of content creators. I'm happy to talk with a lot of them over the past couple of years, and I've grown relationships with many of them. But when I write, create content, and blog and publish things, my sole goal is to be number 1. And I'm not talking about being number 1 in Japan. My goal is to be number 1 in the world. Probably the universe, if I'm really truthful. If there's another segment of bloggers and writers on some faraway distant planet, I'd like to beat the bejesus out of them too. And I bring a supreme effort to writing and blogging and content creation and social media marketing. And people have often commented, well, Craig, you're hardworking. Craig, you do this. You don't know me in real life. If you think and you followed me on Craig Hoffman 11 on Twitter, and I appreciate those of you who have, and you've read my blog, and you've followed some of my books and even bought some, and I really appreciate those folks, thank you. You have no idea how hard I go at life in my real life. Follow me around for a week. Do what I do, and you'd be astonished. And even if you did that, you have no idea how hard I went at life back in America, to the point of literally falling over to make it in the world. And that's not a humble brag. That's my personality. But I think it's that competitive, iron-willed grit and determination that does make me stand out on social media, in blogging, and to a fair degree in writing. People think they're giving a full effort, but they don't understand what real full effort, even at a great personal sacrifice, really is. And some of that is youth with a lot of the content creators in Japan. And some of that is a lack of belief in some of the older people who have been here a while, and that's a shame. The next part of that is consistency. Even if you're hardworking, it doesn't mean that you're getting results. You've got to be consistent in what you do and always looking for ways to not only be a hard worker, but to work smarter. I get more out of my social media content creation time and marketing than most people, and I have limited free time. I'm always looking for ways to do things better and faster and at a higher level than I did yesterday, and never being satisfied with today's results. There's always ways to improve. I do that in my daily life. I'm always looking for ways to save a few minutes, to do something better and faster at my company, to do something better and faster for my life at my house. I have a daily routine. I often, literally, step by step, should I make my coffee before making the tea? Should I brush my teeth at this time? Should I catch this train? Should I go this way? And all of that seems really OCD, and it is, again, part of my personality. But streamlining what I do makes me a highly efficient person, worker, and of course in social media and content creation and writing, highly productive. It matters quantity. I'm not saying you publish junk every day or clickbait stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. But I've written before, you don't need home run blogs every day. I have 600 blogs. Probably 60 of them are what I would consider some elite content. 400 of them are well above average. 100 of them are probably average, and there's probably about 20 that I wish I could take down. And I'm okay with that. It's important to produce, especially on Twitter. I'm not talking about being dumb and putting up quotes all day long. I'm not talking about inundating your followers with marketing. But new, fresh content consistently tweeted out gets a response from people. And of course, some people don't like that. And I've talked and written on occasion, I get a person who says, you tweet too much. And I tell them, you don't have to follow me. You can mute me, or you can just ignore it. I get notifications all the time from people, and I don't care. I get tagged all the time, and I don't care. In fact, I make effort because I appreciate that people have reached out to me. I tag a lot of people, and a lot of people reach back, and I'm appreciative. I tag other people I never hear back from. I'm tagging you not for me, but for you. I've highlighted that I appreciate you. I have acknowledged your support, and I know that you're there. It doesn't change my life that that singular person follows me or doesn't follow me or likes or doesn't retweet my content. I hope they do. But I'm consistent in reaching out and reaching out and reaching out. And I was talking to a blogger this week who is often lamenting that people don't reach back, and that's exactly what happens. You reach out to 15,000 people, like 150 reach back. And 150 of those, 15 are really active. And of the 15, like 4 to 5, maybe you have a personal relationship with that goes a little deeper than social media content creation and writing. And people often think they're special. And I know I write and talk about that a lot, and I'm sure it offends people. I don't care. It's the truth. You're not special. I grew up a special kid. I was that kid. I was that student. You can ask anyone from my kindergarten teacher all the way to my graduate school about Craig as a student. There were smarter people, more talented people, I'm sure. But you would never, ever, ever, ever in your life find a harder working student than I was. It's not possible. You can go to my company, to a coworker. Some of them love me, some of them like me, some of them ignore me, and some of them I'm sure hate me. But to a person, they will tell you there is no harder working person in that company. And on social media, blogging and writing, and Twitter, I'm just going to put it out there that you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who goes at the marketing and the content creation as a non-professional than I do. This is not my daytime job. I have a real life. I work for a living. I work pretty hard for a living. A lot of hours. This is my dream. And I was talking to a lot of people, it's a hobby, quote unquote, as my wife feels. That's why I never put any money into it. And I enjoy it. I enjoy creation. I enjoy writing and blogging. I hope that money, fame, and fortune comes. It would be great. And I understand why people have dreams of that. But my first goal every day is to work as hard as I can on Twitter, in social media, in writing and blogging. And I know if I consistently do that, the results will come. I've mentioned before, I studied music. When I was a young trumpet player, I was last. I sat in the very last chair. And director and teacher after teacher after teacher said, Craig, not good, man. Not good. Like zero talent. And I practice and I practice and I practice. Still last chair. And I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. And I get into college. And my trumpet instructor said, Craig, not good. A lot of problems. You're not the elite level. Last among the music majors. I sit in music classes. No idea of scales and harmony. I said, Craig, not good. I study. I'm in tears, right? Still last. Sophomore year, great theory professor. She said, Craig, you can do it. I don't know if she believed it. I hoped she did. But I still studied and studied and studied. And studied. And I made it to graduate school. And I studied and studied and studied and studied. And I graduated at the top. Now none of that is a humble brag. I'm still not in music. I don't do anything with music these days. I write some arrangements for my company on occasion. I compose some pop tunes on a free day on occasion. I didn't make it in music. Almost all of my friends in school who had way more talent didn't make it in music. Many of them do other things now. And that's the way it goes. But I say that as a couple of my friends really did make it in music and have become pretty popular. And a couple of them are conductors of some big things that tour. One of them even came to Japan. So it can happen. But you have no chance in social media, blogging and writing, if you're not working your tail off to maximize whatever talent and opportunities that come your way. So this week, your content creation and social media homework is to, for 1 week, prioritize your social media, blogging, and writing as high on your list as you can. Go at it with a full force and create and market like you have never marketed before. And I want you in a week to compare what you had done before this content and after. And I hope that you'll see that what you thought was your best full effort in writing, social media, and blogging and content creation was sadly short. And the next week, give even more effort. And while I won't promise you fame, fortune, or even success, you can go to sleep at night knowing you did absolutely everything within your person to reach your dreams. That's it, and have a great, great day.